As we celebrate the first 100 years of the New York Giants, we come across some great seasons, even ones where they might not have won a championship. 1933 is one of those seasons where there were some great games and some great players and plays, and we're going to cover it in just a moment.
This is the Pigskin Daily History Dispatch, a podcast that covers the anniversaries of American football events throughout history. Your host, Darren Hayes, is podcasting from America's North Shore to bring you the memories of the gridiron, one day at a time.
Hello, my football friends. This is Darren Hayes of PigskinDispatch.com. Welcome once again to the Pig Pen, your portal to positive football history, and welcome to another edition, our 21st in our New York Giants 100th celebration, 100th season coming up in 2024. We hope you've been enjoying some of the episodes we've had on some of the great players of the early Giants and coaches and some of the season so far. And today is no exception. We're going to be covering the 1933 season because it was pivotal for the National Football League and the New York Giants. Still a young league, struggled to maintain and gain foothold on the American sports culture, overshadowed by the popularity of college football and Major League Baseball. However, despite ending in heartbreak, the Giants' 1933 season played a crucial role in solidifying the NFL's future and that of the New York Football Giants franchise. In review, in 1932, the NFL had 8 teams, the lowest number in league history. However, some things were stirring for growth in 1933. The impromptu 1932 title game in the close race exited and excited the NFL fans so much that the league decided to make a postseason championship game a regular ending crown to crown a champion. Remember, 1932 was sort of thrown together. It was in a snowstorm, had to be moved inside between the Portsmouth Spartans and the Chicago Bears, who ended up in a virtual tie for the end of the league championship. Remember, league championships were by the total record, the best record in the league would get the championship. So that virtual tie sort of threw it out the window. They threw together a game in the last couple weeks of the season for that 1932 championship, which Chicago won indoors and under some high protests and highly skeptical means where some star players were not able to play. So the 1933 would be the first year they would have a set and scheduled championship game. They were going to make things easier. They split the franchises into an East and a West division and have a winner of each vie for the title. Now, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania promised to abolish the longstanding blue laws of not having professional sporting events on Sundays. The law made playing games in the Keystone State, like former franchises of Frankfurt and Pottsville, problematic for the NFL and led to some of their demise and financial ruin of those two franchises. Burt Bell and his wife Frances Upton had bought a now defunct Yellow Jackets franchise and rebranded it into the Philadelphia Eagles. On the other side of the state, the Commonwealth, the sporting man named Mart Rooney purchased the rights to start up his own 11 and call them the Pittsburgh Pirates after the city's successful baseball team. The Boston Braves rebranded themselves as the Boston Redskins, and the town of Cincinnati joined the fray with the Reds. Unfortunately, the Staten Island Stapletons left the NFL, even though they had scheduled games against member franchises that season. Thus, the league embarked on 10 teams, 5 of which were in each division. The Giants were set in the Eastern Division, competing with the likes of the Brooklyn Dodgers, Boston Redskins, and the new Philadelphia and Pittsburgh teams. Then to the right to represent the Eastern Division in the National Football League Championship game at season's end. Now, led by the stability of head coach Steve Owen, the Giants set out on a grueling schedule that included 4 road games to start the season at Pittsburgh, Portsmouth, Green Bay, and Boston. Owen, known for his innovative strategies and authoritative coaching style, was instrumental in shaping the Giants into a competitive force. The success was built on something other than flashy offense, but a stingy defense and on a decisive running game. A talented roster with key players such as Hall of Fame center Mel Hein, quarterback Harry Newman, fullback Jack McBride, and versatile back Ken Strong were among the standout performers who helped define the team's success that season. Other roster members like Red Badgrove, Ray Flaherty, and Hat Moran provided the offensive punch for some solid defense. The test as Road Warriors proved to be a challenge for the beginning of the season. The group expectedly blew out the Pirates 23-2 in the first game, but then suffered a setback against the Spartans as Portsmouth's Ace Gutowski and Glenn Bresnell scored in rhythm to shoot the home team to a 17-0 lead. The Giants' only score came as Red Badger's scoop and score late in the game would avoid the shutout. Portsmouth wins 17-7. The following week, the Giants would jump out to an early lead against the Packers as Ken Strong booted a 39-yard field goal after a stalled first drive. The offensive fireworks happened in the second quarter when Dale Burnett hauled in a Newman pass for a 19-yard scoring strike. In the second half, the Packers closed the gap when Johnny Blood McNally grabbed hold of a 30-yard touchdown strike from Bob Monet, and the Giants were stout on defense the rest of the way, and the 10-7 score would be the final. Giants win and advance to a 2-1 record on the young season. Next up on the road tour was the 1-1 Boston team. The Giants jumped out to a 7-0 lead early on a Bo Melinda 10-yard run to pay dirt. The Redskins responded in turn with 3 unanswered scores that seemed to baffle the Owens defense. Down 21-7 in the third, New York got to work. Stu Clancy capped off a long drive with a 15-yard touchdown run. However, the extra point was blocked by a Redskin defender. The Giants were now starting to figure out the Redskin attack, and up to that point it proved difficult to subdue. And now the guests hindered their Boston hosts with solid defensive play. The Giants' hopes seemed dashed when Strong's field goal attempt went wide in the fourth quarter. But all was not lost, as New York defense held serve and forced Boston to punt, which allowed the Giants to set up shop on their own 15-yard line. The Giants had to strike quickly and had just the play. Ken Strong took the ball and ran hard toward the sideline. The back then halted his charge and launched a backward pass dangerously across the width of most of the football field to an awaiting quarterback Newman, who was standing alone, accepted the relay, and dashed 80 yards to the Giants' score. The kick cut the lead to 1, but the Boston team held on to win 21-20, leveling the New York club's record to 2-2. With the baseball season ending, the Polo Grounds opened up for home play, and now the New York faithful would get to witness 2 home games in a row for their Giants. Several rule changes implemented in 1933, most notably the forward pass being allowed to be thrown from anywhere behind the line of scrimmage and to cross the line of scrimmage downfield further, were showcased by the Giants' offensive success. The high-scoring 56-0 defeat of the Philadelphia Eagles became a prime example of the game's evolving nature and offensive potential in the first home game of the season for the G-Men. High-scoring affairs like this and the Giants' strong showing throughout the year captivated audience and helped generate the much-needed interest in the fledgling league. The Giants next down the crosstown Dodgers 21-7 for their second home game at the Polo Grounds to improve to 4-2. But next on their schedule was a trip to the Windy City to face the tough Bears squad, equally laden with talent. Again, the Giants jumped out via a long pass early, this time from Newman to Strong that traveled 41 yards. The Bears also knew how to throw as quarterback Keith Molesworth registered 2 touchdown passes that proved to be the difference in the Chicago 14-10 victory. This awoke the slumbering Giants, though, as they commenced going on a 7-game winning streak to end the season, including a 3-0 revenge win over Chicago at home to complete the year at 11-3. And this earned New York the first Eastern Division crown and the right to face the 10-2-1 Bears in a rubber game for the series on the year, and the rights to this first scheduled NFL championship game to be played December 17th at Wrigley Field. 14,000 excited fans packed the stadium for the title tilt on that December day, and they were in for a treat. Each team came to play, and both clamored for victory. Former Minnesota Golden Gopher star rookie Jack Manders started the game scoring with 2 first-half field goals for the Bears, one from 16 and the second from 40 yards, to put the home team up 6-0. The Giants responded with a Harry Newman pass where he had to dodge and duck Bears defenders, but somehow flung the ball forward and found in the hands of Red Badgro, who rumbled for a 29-yard touchdown on the play, putting the visitors up 7-6 with the extra point just before intermission. In the third quarter, Manders split the uprights again from 28 yards out to change the lead again in favor of the Bears. New York responded using a flurry of Newman passes to move the ball against a stingy Chicago defense. The drive proved fruitful when the Giants runner Max Krause plunged over the goal line. With a subsequent Ken Strong kick over the crossbar, the score was now 14-9 New York. The third quarter saw seesaw lead changes were not over yet, as Bronco Nagurski of the Bears elevated his team on the scoreboard and the fans from their seats when he tossed the touchdown throw of his own at the Chicago's Bill Carr caught on the 8-yard line and from the 8-yard line and the 8-yard touchdown scoring play to cap off a nice drive and move the score needle in favor of the home squad 16-14. But on the next drive, Harry Newman continued his magic of scrambling and finding open receivers on the run and set up another play reminiscent of the earlier season when Ken Strong ran hard wide to his left, and just before the outstretched arms of the Bears defenders tried to reach him, the crafty back stopped, whirled, and tossed a lateral back across the field to the awaiting Newman, who tiptoed into the end zone and the trickeration touchdown to move the Giants ahead in the scoring 21-16 with just minutes left in the contest. On that drive, in the previous drive, Newman had completed 7 passes in a row and caught that game going ahead touchdown as well from Strong. Now, each team had some solid defensive stands right after the Giants scored, and the Bears caught a break on a punt from Ken Strong that traveled only 9 yards to the New York 47-yard line. The Bears, in ample and very advantageous field position, found daylight on several plays with pinpoint passes from Molesworth and lumbering runs from Nagurski. Hallis pulled out his own trick play and called for Nagurski to throw a pass as he threatened to run. The toss was accepted by Hewitt, who in turn fired a lateral pass across to a waiting car, who completed the circuit on a 20-yard touchdown run, producing Chicago's touchdown and a 23-21 victory with only minutes left. Now, the Giants' midseason rally of 7 straight wins stopped in the NFL championship against the Chicago Bears. The heartbreaking 23-21 loss left them one step short of the title. Though a bitter pill to swallow, the Giants' season has had a lasting impact. Their excited brand of football, coupled with the rules changes, helped solidify New York's NFL position in the American sports. While the 1933 Giants may not have hoisted a championship trophy, they played a vital role in paving the way for the Gridiron's future success and helping to add to the story of the Giants' first 100 years. We're so glad that you were able to join us. If you have time, go ahead and hit subscribe, because we come up with every Monday, we have a new Giants thing here in 2024, for some Giants history. But we have history happening every day here on our YouTube channel and on pigskindispatch.com. And don't forget to check out our podcast anywhere your podcast is provided to you. Pigskin Dispatch, that's the name to check out. Till next time, everybody, have a great Gridiron day. That's all the football history we have today, folks. Join us back tomorrow for more of your football history. We invite you to check out our website, pigskindispatch.com, not only to see the daily football history, but to experience positive football with our many articles on the good people of the game, as well as our own football comic strip, Cleat Marks Comics. Pigskindispatch.com is also on social media outlets, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and don't forget the Pigskin Dispatch YouTube channel to get all of your positive football news and history. Special thanks to the talents of Mike and Gene Monroe, as well as Jason Neff for letting us use their music during our podcast.
This podcast is part of the Sports History Network, your headquarters for the yesteryear of your favorite sport. You can learn more at sportshistorynetwork.com.